Hello, SpeedGaming viewers, and welcome to the evening edition of the 2022 Super Metroid Randomizer multi-category tournament. We are going to be watching an amazing race today between polarbearbunny and BFrobber. This is a 2-1 race, so each of our racers have won 2 matches and have lost 1, so they're facing off here to see who will be headed into that 3-1 bracket come next week. We are in week 4 of the tournament out of 7 weeks of Swiss, which will help determine who goes on to the top 16 in the playoffs. So both of these runners in playoff contention, hoping to advance towards that spot. It looks like we are having a wrecked ship start. This week, week 4 settings, we have a random start. It's a vanilla map, but you start randomly. So the runners are going to be looking for their morph ball somewhere around here in the wrecked ship, and it looks like they both have done a little bit of practice and know exactly where it's at. I'll mention who I am. I'm Count Cranberry, and I will be your guide to this great race. It looks like we also have a stacked wreck ship this time around with 4 major items. You can see them in the top left there. That's because this week we have full countdown, meaning any item can be anywhere, so your majors are fully shuffled, but you offset that complete randomness a little bit to turn this from turning into a pure hundo run by being able to see what is in, or how many majors are left in the area in the top left corner of the HUD. Majors there's 16 of them. They do not include E-tanks like they would in a major minor split. It's kind of your beams, your movement items, and then your kind of X-ray scope and grapple beam. So we'll be seeing those 3 left after morph ball here in wrecked ship. I believe our runners can check 1 or 2 more spots before they are out of checks prior to beating Fantoon. We also have one more little bit of randomness here in this week with boss shuffle being on. So if those runners were to head down and check Fantoon, which of course they can't quite yet because they don't have the right items and ammo, they could find either Fantoon there, or they could find any one of the other 3 bosses. It introduces an interesting level of complexity and lets us really see how well our runners can adapt to changing circumstances. For example, Kraid's warehouse will be closed until Kraid the boss is beaten, not necessarily the boss who is behind the Kraid boss door. It looks like we got our first set of power bombs there at the bottom of West Ocean, and it looks like both of our runners pretty close, tracking the same way out of wrecked ship, heading back to Crateria and Blue Brinstar. So we'll be coming back later on to check those 3 majors, but it looks like they want to kind of head back to the landing site and see what else this seed has in store for them. Finding a reserve tank at Moat and only 1 major in Crateria. That's interesting. It's a little tough whenever you see 1 major in an area because, you know, when you're still suitless, that 1 major could be one of the suits you're looking for. And because this is random start, there are tweaks to the Varia randomizer. Normally, suits cannot be found in Crateria, but in random start, they can be. So that 1 major could be Varia or Gravity. So we're probably going to see quite a few checks from our runners here. And of course, PBB rocking the Kirby ship, which depending on who you ask may be the best ship or might be cursed. And our runners are just literally neck and neck. It really appears that, you know, they were synced going through that door. Looks like a little bit of divergence here. BFrobber opting to head down and try and look at or peek Bomb Trizo and realizing he doesn't have any missiles or super missiles to check the door. So heading back out. Meanwhile, PBB checks out 230 missiles and finds vanilla missiles. So at this point, she could head back up and check Bomb Trizo if she wanted, or continue down and check the morph ball pedestal and everything down kind of at the bottom in Blue Brinstar. Of course, all of those checks are pretty time consuming, and you're locked out from other checks in the upper landing site or Upper Crateria, so PvP is opting to head back up and check Bomb Trizo. One of those other little tweaks to the very randomizer, normally you would only have to fight Bomb Trizo if Bomb Trizo had, or if you had bombs in your inventory. But in very randomizer for this, if you pick up the item from Bomb Trizo, you have to fight him, regardless of what items you have in your loadout, which is why you saw both runners opt to skip those missiles. Otherwise, you'd be fighting BT, and time is time. Polarbearbunny heading into Terminator. It's entirely possible that after she checks this item and maybe the back of Gauntlet, she'll turn around and check the bottom, or could head into Green Brinstar and opt to head up the meme route, or kind of the reverse meme route, you could almost say. We are going to get a peek at these items behind Gauntlet, so let's see what those are. 2 packs of missiles. Makes Gauntlet seem a little less appealing. BFrobber right on PvB's heels, and it does look like PvB's opting to head into Green Brinstar and possibly route back into Crateria, checking Morph Ball, Billy Mays later on. It's worth noting we are still missing super missiles, so there will be a number of checks in Green Brinstar that will be unavailable to our runners until they find those super missiles. And with 4 majors, they're probably going to want to check all of them. The PvB attempting the mock ball here, nice and easy, very smooth. Speed space jump, and is opting to check up here. First, missing a missile to open up that red missile door. We'll see if she gets a drop up here, if she opts to just drop on through. Yep, she's going to farm enemies here for that missile drop. BFrobber in a similar situation, a couple missiles short. PvP getting that missile drop, and is going to be able to check these items in Green Brinstar Reserve. Meanwhile, BFrobber opting to drop on down, get space jump, and will likely pop right on out and farm some missiles out there in the shaft. Space jump, the only major here in Green Brinstar Reserve, with an E-tank and another pack of missiles for their trouble. So with an E-tank and a reserve tank, we're getting closer and closer to hell runs being in logic once our runners hit Upper Norfair, but we'll see how stingy this seed wants to be with energy moving forward. PvP doing the quick drop and able to jump right back out before that block reforms, saving a little bit of time. Very well done. And now we are headed down to Edicoons. BFrobber doing a little bit of farming, wanting to get that missile count up before he moves on to the rest of Green Brinstar. X-ray scope. We are 1/3 of the way to microwave beam. No super missiles yet, so can't check the supers, or can't check behind that super door, where one of those majors could be. And BFrobber right on PvB's heels, picking up that X-ray scope now. Another E-tank. So I believe we are 1 E-tank away from a Cathedral Logical Hell Run, and I think we have Ice in Logic now. So, Upper Norfair could be more appealing to our runners. PvP taking 1 or 2 runs at that short mock ball to get across the gap in a morph ball without dropping down. That's actually really tough. I've practiced that, and I have not been able to pick it up. So props to PvP for getting that quick, that little short hot mock ball. BFrobber nailing the same mock ball. Very impressive. PvP doing a little bit of missile farming here. Heading back up. BFrobber did this on his way out of this room, so he is comfortable moving on with 4 missiles in his inventory, heading over to Big Pink. Maybe checking the item right up here, and we have another pack of missiles. Missile Heavy Seed. So anyone who's familiar with some of PBB's other races, we know that they were missing power bombs for a very, very long time in a race seed earlier. Maybe it's super missiles this time around. Ooh, and BFrobber finding Charge Beam. So that's going to take a little bit of the pressure off to find ammo, to search for ammo as we move through the seed. And BFrobber also finding super missiles. So now we have all the keys to all the doors that we need. It's just a matter of getting through them. We do have one major left, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a check at Wavegate and Spore Spawn from BFrobber. Looks like Spore Spawn first, and PBB right behind him, picking up those super missiles. It'll be interesting to see which check PBB does, whether Spore Spawn or Wavegate first. Or neither. Looks like she might be checking the tube item here. And the tube check pays off, that last major grapple beam. So now PBB knows that none of those other checks are necessary. They're only going to have miners or potentially E-tanks. And so she's going to be able to just move right on out of Green Brinstar. We'll see if BFrobber stops after the Spore Spawn check or if he heads up to Wavegate. Looks like we're seeing the Wavegate check from BFrobber. Now this could be an E-tank, which could make hell runs a little bit more comfortable. So it could have been an E-tank, but unfortunately just missiles. Meanwhile, PBB heading up Red Tower. We can see one major item in Red Brinstar. So that's probably the next chance for potential divergence. With BFrobber potentially choosing to go down Red Tower, it's a possibility. Most runners I've seen do go up, but you never know. BFrobber opting to check Mission Impossible as well, which we know is not going to have the major item he's looking for. Oops, more missiles. That seems to be the name of the game in this seed. Both for PBB and BFrobber. And how about that second item at the area known as Kip's Miners? BFrobber using his last super missile to open that door there, and should be finding his grapple beam momentarily. There it is, grapple beam. One thing with one item in Red Brinstar, it could open up the possibility for an early X-ray check. Neither are, well, I guess they have grapple beam, so it could be in logic. Grapple beam and items. Ooh, BFrobber taking a hit from that big side hopper, triggering his reserve tank. Gotta be still my heart, BFrobber. We don't want to take a death here. But the E-tank does top off his health, so feeling a little bit more comfortable. Another pack of super missiles will be nice. Meanwhile, PBB continuing up Red Tower, gonna be heading back to Crateria from the other end. Or potentially checking wrecked ship. We'll see. Again, because this is boss shuffle, the wrecked ship check may not be useful if Phantoon isn't the boss there. So it could be good information to know which boss is at wrecked ship, but if it's not Phantoon, it could be a little bit of time loss if it winds up being Ridley, which would not be a good situation. PBB could potentially kill an escaped Dragon. She's got grapple beam, but suitless, that is a tough grapple escape from Dragon's room. So we'll see which boss is over here shortly. Yep. Chat, Flow Guy in chat pointing out that PV did save in Red Tower, which is a very smart heads-up play, opting to skip the save here in Wrecked Ship, so that if the boss isn't to her liking, she can reset and be much closer to the route she wants to go, rather than, ooh, she may not want to reset. She may save after getting this plasma beam. It's possible that she might come back later for that, but you probably want to have plasma beam as long as possible. So we might see a save here. Yep, and it looks like she's going back up to save. Meanwhile, BFrobber making the climb out of Blue Brinstar back up to landing site. Probably going to take a ship refill and maybe check Gauntlet. We'll see. We do have space jumps, so landing site power bombs is also a check that could be done. And I believe both runners found charge beam, so we've got microwave. It is Dragon. PvP opting not to take the suitless Dragon fight and high jumpless grapple escape. I can't blame her, but that would have been extremely swag. It looks like BFrobber heading back towards Wrecked Ship now. And Polar Bear Bunny heading out of Wrecked Ship. So we are going to see a high five here very shortly. And there it is, high five between the runners. Both runners very wisely checking that item there in the ceiling to see if it's one of the majors here in Wrecked Ship. Normally you don't see a ton of items in Wrecked Ship. 3 is probably one of the higher item counts. Technically 4 since Morphball was here, but you don't see a lot of items in Wrecked Ship in these seeds, but you never know. Interesting things can happen with a full area countdown. Polar Bear Bunny getting the information that BFrobber got a minute or two ago. Just a missile pack. AKA the natural ammo species of Zebus in this seed, apparently. BFrobber heading down to see what we know is Dragon, and we'll see if he opts to take the Dragon fight. Well, he's either thinking about it or it looks like we're going to see an attempt. Meanwhile, Polar Bear Bunny is going to be showing us a new area here at Gauntlet. BFrobber taking some hits from those turrets, but it looks like he's got the X-ray beam, microwaving poor Dragon. Not quite at the right tempo, but should be able to get him this time around, or get her this time around. And down goes Dragon. We do see there's one item here in East Meridia, could be the item behind Dragon, but it may not be. So for those in chat who are unfamiliar with the tactic that BFrobber just used, if you have charge beam, plasma, and X-ray, plasma allows your shots to penetrate enemies, which BFrobber lining up to do a grapple escape here, which if combined with X-ray allows you to do damage to your enemies with plasma inside them every frame that plasma's there. Ooh, BFrobber opting to reset. Saw the item behind Dragon, wasn't the major, and so, not a lot of reason to keep attempting it, so headed back out. Grapple escape is tough on its own, but without high jump boots, it makes it extremely difficult and the timing very tight. So BFrobber opting just to skip it, and now it looks like he's headed right and going to be headed down Red Tower. Meanwhile, polarbearbunny heading down to the bottom of Blue Brinstar to check some of these places that BFrobber checked on the way in. Yeah, and an unfortunate note, BFrobber did lose that plasma beam, so his save was before he headed over to check wrecked ship. So that plasma beam will have to picked up later, but he knows where it is and should be able to get it before heading back when he goes back to kill Dragon for realsies. polarbearbunny not finding much of consequence here in Crateria, but I believe these are the last checks other than climb supers. We'll see if Billy Mays has the goods. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't see BFrobber check this, I don't believe. There's our one major for Crateria, regular old bombs. Never a bad thing to have. Kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off of your power bomb inventory. Ooh, polarbearbunny taking a little spill into the drink, but quickly recovers. Takes a little pressure off your power bomb inventory, makes lower Norfair a little smoother. You're not constantly worried about locking yourself in somewhere down there. But with space jump, it does eliminate some of the usefulness of infinite bomb jumping. To answer the question in chat, you cannot infinite bomb jump out of Dragon without gravity suit. I'm pretty sure the only way out is that grapple escape, or if you get grabbed when you're crystal flashing, it'll give you a spike suit, so you can, if you have speed booster, you can shine spark out. BFrobber doing the X-ray check with that space jump. We are missing Various, so he's got to be careful. These spikes do 80 damage a hit, I believe, and so he's taking some hits here. And there it is, the one remaining and one and only major in Red Brinstar, high jump boots. Again, not a progression item necessarily, but it makes it extremely comfortable for movement. PBB right on his heels. Our runners are very, very close, and it looks like they're on the same path down to Upper Norfair. The only difference is going to be that PBB has that plasma beam and has those bombs. So she's a little bit behind in terms of routing, but is ahead in terms of items. So interesting divergence here. And then the resync. BFrobber deciding wisely to refill his energy here at Sloter's Refill. I think BFrobber can see Upper Norfair hell runs in his future, and so wanting to go in with as much energy as possible. Opting not to check Spazer location, so throwing caution to the wind that it's an E-tank, probably thinking it's another regular missile pack, and moving right on. PvP making the same choice. And we are going to see Kraid. So no major items in Kraid. So not in the warehouse, not behind Kraid the boss. Even if Kraid's not here, Kraid's boss room is technically counted as part of that area, so we know that there is not a major item behind Kraid, no matter which boss is here. BFrobber using X-ray to check that item there, making a quick save. Get your guesses in chat. Which boss is here behind Kraid? We know Dragon is at Wrecked Ship, so we've got 3 left. Who's here? Seeing a lot of favor for Ridley. 1 guess for Fantoon. I'm gonna put my money on Fantoon as well. I could see the seed putting Fantoon here and then directing them back up to Wrecked Ship. Oh no, we have a vanilla Kraid. BFrobber missing the Kraid quick kill by just a hair. Got a couple supers in, but couldn't quite get that 3rd missile out. PvB, force feeding Kraid 4 supers, and we're seeing almost simultaneous kills from our 2 runners. BFrobber opting to check the item behind Kraid, likely for an E-tank, and is rewarded for his check. So this will put them on even footing for E-tanks, and make those hell runs a little bit more comfortable for BFrobber. That said, BFrobber exiting Kraid's room about 20 seconds behind PvB. So we've got a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And PvB headed down to Upper Norfair. Pretty much the last place progression could logically be at this point. If I had to guess, I'd say we're going to see, well, PvB proving me wrong. I was going to say we were going to see high jump boots first, but PvB opting to check ice. Yep, and as Vincent in chat noting, the advantage PvB has here because she's got Plasma Beam is going to be extremely effective, killing the enemies as they make their hell run through Cathedral, and just in general being able to farm quickly, just all around being able to move through the map smoother is going to be a big advantage. Finding their 3rd super missile pack. And this check always gets me because I always have to think about it and turn around as I'm, going through the morph ball in the ceiling. Crumble Shaft is a potential location for one of these 3 majors. So we will be seeing our runners check this. PvB's a little low on energy. If it is the major item, she's going to have to get across, pick it up, and get back. Just a super pack. Could be useful for potentially when they find Ridley. But at this point, I think they're going to just say, nope, don't need it. Save the energy and head on out. PvB doing some farming here. Needing to farm these enemies for energy. And BFrobber catches up. Our runners are neck and neck. Literally through the door within 3 seconds of each other. This is exciting. It's been a little while since I've seen a race this close, 28 minutes in. PB doing a quick check of Croc escape, seeing a reserve tank, so knows that she doesn't need to head up there for that major item. Now we're checking high jump boots. So a pack of supers. Oh, Polar Bear just missing that little guy there who opens up the door. And BFrobber, picking up Spazer, which is a respectable choice because doesn't have Plasma Beam, lost Plasma Beam earlier, so the extra damage will be nice. I can't fault BFrobber for picking up the best worst beam in the game. But it will be a nice damage boost between now and when he heads back and routes Plasma back in. PB waiting for that enemy to route back around. Finally gets the kill and is able to open up the door and get out. And now I think both of our runners have a little bit of farming to do. I think they recognize that the only logical way across is through Cathedral, and so they're going to need every bit of energy to make that run. Or PvP just going for it. But PvP does have Crystal Flash ammo, so we're likely going to see a Crystal Flash here shortly. Once the reserve tank triggers, PvP will find a nice, comfortable spot once she gets to about 60 energy to lay a power bomb and refill completely. BFrobber also having Crystal Flash energy, choosing just about the same spot to recharge. Is BFrobber with the added advantage to his Crystal Flash Power Bomb revealed that Cathedral item to only be a missile pack, so they don't need to route back around to grab that if it was a major. Chat sad that X-Ray doesn't get its moment in the sun because of the Crystal Flash Power Bomb. I feel you. And hello, Varia suit. Both runners picking up Varia within seconds of each other. So that eliminates the need for hell runs down here. We're probably going to see a play, actually probably looking for, this is where the plasma advantage is likely going to come in more handy. PvP can head straight for lower Norfair and not fear running into Ridley with that charged plasma. BFrobber with charged Spazer might want to look for a few more super packs before heading down to lower Norfair. We are seeing the check. There's one major item left here in upper Norfair. I guess 2 for polarbearbunny. Well, that one was Spazer. That's right. I was sitting there thinking, wait a minute. Go back. Rewind. What am I skipping? Yeah, they are just neck and neck. This is a lot of fun to watch. Late night Super Metroid for gamers. BFrobber doing a little bit of farming, trying to get their ammo and energy up. Polarbearbunny pulls into a slight lead. Got another pack of power bombs for PvP. She was running a little bit low, so probably just picked him up, you know, to refill rather than have to stop and farm. BFrobber having the same idea, skipping him at first and then turning around and grabbing him just to get 5 more in their inventory. And if I were a betting man, I'd say both of them are headed down to double chamber next. And we are synced going down into Batcave. Polarbearbunny opting to head to double chamber. BFrobber headed down to lower Norfair. Interesting. Little quick moonfall right there in that room. PvP finding another super missile pack, so that puts her at 30 capacity. So even with plasma beam, super missiles are the choice du jour for killing Ridley. It's the fastest DPS. Oh, and Polar Bear Bunny finding Speed Booster in Double Chamber. That is a huge, huge pickup. That should make Lower Norfair a little bit easier, but also the rest of her run. I'm curious if BFrobber is going to check this on his way out of Lower Norfair. So now with BFrobber in the lead on routing, but Polar Bear Bunny is just going to have a much easier Lower Norfair with both speed and plasma beam. So this is going to be intense. PBB taking the save, very safe, very cautious as she heads down to Lower Norfair. That lava dive jump that we saw BFrobber do is not free. You're doing it with high jump boots, makes it a little bit easier, but can take some practice, and so we'll see how comfortable PBB is with it. Interesting. It looks like PBB is heading over to Croc, wanting to see what secrets Croc has in store. Trying to get this blue gate glitch successfully after a few tries, but this is an interesting routing choice. We don't know if Croc has a major yet. We haven't seen. We know that East Meridia only has one, so West Meridia and Croc are the only two locations we haven't seen yet. So I'm guessing Croc has 1 or 0. Yeah, it looks like Croc has 1. So if this is gravity, this could be big. Lower Norfair also has 1 major, so we'll see what Lower Norfair has as well. I believe our outstanding majors are Ice, Wave, Spring Ball, and Screw Attack, and Gravity at the moment. So whatever they are, we've got a 1 in, 6 chance that it's a suit? 1 in 5, actually, I think. Polar Bear Bunny helping Croc wash up some of that gunk and goo, get a nicely polished skeleton. So we're going to see some of these items. Picked up an E-Tank over on the other side of the Croc Acid. So we're going to see these other checks. Meanwhile, BFrobber having a little bit of trouble with the worst room in the game. It is aptly named. This is a difficult room to traverse, especially with these pirates jumping around, opting to just murder them with super missiles, and is now making his way up and headed into Amphitheater next. Amphitheater is probably my worst room in the game, just because of how many times I've gotten myself killed in my KDPR runs in that room. So that's just that's neither here nor there, but just want to point out that that's probably my worst room in the game. Polar Bear Bunny, meanwhile, finding that Croc Major of Spring Ball. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Out of all the items that allow you to jump as a Morph Ball, Spring Ball is definitely one of them. PBB does pick it up and moves on to the Lower Norfair. Here comes BFrobber through Amphitheater. It's a little low on energy, so really hoping that these space jumps work out well. Looks like we've got just textbook movement through Amphitheater without a scratch. And Polar Bear Bunny trying this high jump boot lava dive. Heads up, gets underneath. Yep, and it's in and out. 1 try, makes it look easy. Power bombs at Fire Fleas, meanwhile. BFrobber descending down into Lower Norfair. So I believe we've got 3-4 major locations left in Lower Norfair. We've got whatever's behind Ridley. If Ridley's the boss down here, could be Fantoon. And then we've got Hotarubi, the item under the Musketeers, and then the jail. Ooh, BFrobber taking a hit from that Musketeer, or from that Key Hunter. These aren't the Musketeers. They're later. We'll get to them. So BFrobber, having used so many of those regular missiles on the Space Pirates in Worst Room in the game, doesn't have Crystal Flash ammo. So is running on 21 energy plus his reserve, which is a real tough spot to be in. Skates underneath those Deskikas, takes a hit from that one, should be in good shape to get down, and we'll hopefully be able to farm some energy from the metal pirates at the bottom. Ooh. Kills those guys because he wants to see the check at worst room or power bombs of shame, which are vanilla power bombs. polarbearbunny checking GT, not seeing what she wanted to see, and resets. Chat, I missed it. Did we see the item above GT or items? I'm seeing E-tank and missiles behind GT. So not worth the effort of killing GT. Meanwhile, polarbearbunny heading into the pillars room, and BFrobber beelining for the boss. Now, because we know that Dragon was shuffled, this could be either boss down here, Phantoon or Ridley. I'm going to bank on Vanilla Ridley. We'll say, I think Phantoon and Dragon got swapped. So we'll see. We'll see. PvB making short work of these space pirates with her charged plasma beam, making her way up worst room in the game with ease. BFrobber farming up, wants to get as many super missiles as possible. Again, has charge beam, so can kill Ridley, but charge Spazer is going to be a slow fight. Question in chat, can it be Vanilla Ridley? Yes, it can be Vanilla Ridley. We've seen at least one randomized boss. So the only requirement in boss shuffle is that it cannot be all 4 vanilla bosses. So if we see one randomized boss, we know that the others can be vanilla. I mean, it has to be swapped with another one, so there's always going to be at least one swap. It's pretty hard to have 3 vanilla bosses and 1 random boss. You'd have 2 bosses in the same room, which, you know, could be a mode in and of itself, but we're not going to see it here this time. BFrobber continuing the farm, farms up to full supers, full regular missiles. And we have a right transition, which means it's everyone's favorite space ghost, Phantoon. Which, by the process of elimination, lets us know that Ridley is in Meridia. To answer your question, Maniacal, I believe there are 5. Ice Beam, Wave Beam, Screw Attack, and Gravity. Phantoon being a little trolly with a slow pattern. BFrobber getting a few missiles in there. Got a couple extra on the Doppler. There's a nice fast pattern. With the Powerbomb Spazer special weapon attack tech doing it on Phantoon here. The swag. Of note, because polarbearbunny has that plasma beam, she does not have to farm at all outside. She was very comfortable, even if this was Ridley with 23 supers, and with microwave beam should make pretty quick work of Phantoon. There is one major in East Meridia. And that was a textbook X-Ray, blowing up everyone's favorite ghost. We'll see you next mission, Fantoon. You will live on in our hearts. BFrobber, meanwhile, making his way out of Lower Norfair, going to be checking the escape items along the way, but just maintaining his lead a little bit. But polarbearbunny is closing the gap. And remember, polarbearbunny has checked Croc. So BFrobber has not seen Croc. If he does not find gravity here in Lower Norfair, it is entirely possible, if not probable, that he does go over and make that check. However, if gravity is here, you know, he should be able to maintain his lead and not lose that time back to polarbearbunny. So this is a close and exciting seed. BFrobber seeing gravity locked in jail. So going to be heading up, going through everyone's favorite little bomb maze, which actually PV is going to be able to navigate very easily with Spring Ball. But BFrobber shouldn't have any problem with it. Yep, and as I mentioned before, this means that BFrobber will likely not be checking Croc. But it also might mean that BFrobber doesn't check double chamber and find that speed booster, which will a little bit handicap him moving forward in just general movement in Meridia and in Tourian. So BFrobber now in technical go mode, has all the suits, has charge beam, and is ready to make their way to finish off the last two bosses and make their way into Tourian. However, it's not a comfortable go mode. Spazer charge is not the beam combo you want to have for Mother Brain, although he does know where Plasma is, so we should be able to remedy that pretty quickly. Ice is still outstanding, but I should also note BFrobber doesn't have logical access to Botch Wound, so that could be one reason that he does go to Croc. He needs Speed Booster or Ice to make it in there, unless he's comfortable with, you know, the Crystal Flash clip. Meanwhile, polarbearbunny, hot on BFrobber's heels, picking up that gravity suit, is going to be making her way up and out of Lower Norfair. Ooh, had Musketeer wanted a piece of BFrobber and was coming for him. But BFrobber making it through the Musketeers, 40 energy plus reserves, and headed out of Lower Norfair. Let's see if he checks double chamber. Yes, yes. We are going to see the double chamber check. BFrobber is going to find Speed Booster. He's going to lose a little bit of time just on routing to PBB, but they will both have similar loadouts once this is found. So just in terms of routing, PBB looks like she's going to take the lead here. She is not going to have a need to head down, so she should be the first to Bubble Mountain, but it's going to be close. And now since both of them had Speed Booster, they can get out of Bubble Mountain taking Speed Booster Hallway. I'm going to keep an eye on the time for when PBB hits the elevator, and we'll see how much difference there is, because this is extremely close. BFrobber opting to farm a little bit here. I don't hate this play. Meridia is a deadly place to go in with, you know, no energy in your E-tanks. But, you know, every second that he's farming, that's longer for PBB to extend her lead. PBB hitting the top of the elevator at 48.33. PBB quickly making her way into Meridia. Before we're just off that elevator platform. BFrobber hitting the top of the elevator at 49.06, so 33 seconds of difference. That's all that's separating our runners, 33 seconds. So this is a fire race, everyone. I am, honored to be watching such a close race between such excellent runners. And I'll just take a second, as we're moving through Meridia, go and check out these runners. Go check their Twitch pages, follow them. You can learn a lot by watching them. I've learned a lot just watching this race. Give them a shout out, give them a follow. Just great gameplay all around. Again, the plasma advantage plays into PvB's favor, getting to microwave everyone's favorite snake. Although not quite getting the kill. Now we're playing whack-a-mole. And finally, Botchwoon goes down. A good chance after Botchwoon, we're going to see some farming from BFrobber off the bugs in the sand pit over there right before we head up into Coliseum, which again is necessary to kill Ridley, but it's just time that he's losing back to PvB. So not seeing that major item at the missiles over there, not seeing the major item at behind Botchwoon. So it's a good chance it's either at Plasma, behind Shack Tool, or in one of the sand pits, which I would be absolutely shocked if our runners check at this point. Meanwhile, PvB going into battle against Ridley. Getting a lot of pogos, getting to just dump supers right into his lower jaw. And BFrobber farming up in the meantime. PvB exhausting her ammo count and getting picked up. Ending the fight with Ridley. Likely opting not to check the Ridley item, but we'll see. Nope. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't need ammo. Doesn't need E-tanks. PvB is on the move. BFrobber wisely opting to shoot the door with regular missiles instead of super missiles. Saving those super missiles for Ridley as they do double damage and are the highest DPS option. So every super missile missed is going to just extend this Ridley fight due to that charged Spazer combo. But it looks like BFrobber is going to have some favorable pogos, get most of the super missiles in. But using the super missiles first is a bit of a double-edged sword. It does mean that Ridley's going to spend more time in his red skin and rage phase. But BFrobber wisely choosing to save 6 super missiles for this pogo right here. And we see that skin color change to red. Ridley's going to get a little bit more aggressive, and so we'll be seeing the more aggressive Ridley patterns with BFrobber trying to hit him with those charge Spazer shots. Meanwhile, PvB rapidly making her way out of Meridia towards Wrecked Ship and the final G4 boss. BFrobber having a little bit of trouble locking Ridley into that left side pogo pattern. There we have some pogos. But BFrobber laying some power bombs, but Ridley instinctively moves away from power bombs, or at least his AI directs him away. So a little bit tough. Using the special Spazer attack again, connecting both of them to Ridley. And PBB heading into Wrecked Ship to take on Dragon. It looks like Ridley's dead. Yep, picks up BFrobber and promptly explodes, leaving BFrobber with one boss left. Yeah, and whereas, you know, our runners were neck and neck not 2 to 3 minutes ago, the plasma difference and ammo count difference really was apparent in that Ridley fight. BFrobber just, you know, played the fight very well, but the beam combination and the damage was just lower. That DPS output was critically important for PvP to pull into this much of a lead. PvP lacking the ammo count to kill that last turret, but should be able to microwave Dragon pretty easily. Gonna have to get him on the next little swish here. And down goes Dragon. 4 out of 4 G4 bosses defeated for PvP, and we are headed to Tourian. And PvP opting not to check the item behind Dragon. She bounced right on out, so she does not know that it's not a major. But that also probably means that we're not going to see any more checks in Wrecked Ship either. So PvP headed for the finish line. Not going to try and find Ice Beam to make Tourian a little bit faster. Just headed straight on out. Meanwhile, BFrobber at the top of Red Tower heading up and about to enter the Wrecked Ship. So we are going to get a little bit of a high five, probably in the moat from our two runners, as PvP heads towards Tourian and BFrobber heads towards that last G4 boss. In the moat door transition, high five. If I'm not mistaken, they high-fived at once before in this match at the same spot. PBB refilling her ammo at the Forbidden Ship. No save, is confident in her abilities to get to Mother Brain, or at least the Tourian save station. And BFrobber going to pick up the Plasma Beam. Knows it's there, easy pickup, but those spikes are active now, and they, even with Varia, do a little chunk of damage. But BFrobber, not afraid, has X-Ray for Dragon, so we will be seeing a cooked shrimp again here very shortly. Meanwhile, polarbearbunny headed into Tourian. So without Ice Beam, we're going to be seeing some powerbomb kills on these Metroids. Hopefully PvP can get them lined up all together. 3 powerbombs kills. But without Screw Attack, she's going to be taking a lot of damage as these Metroids attach. The damage does stop when the powerbomb animation's going off, but you know that's a rapid energy drain. Meanwhile, BFrobber, no ammo to kill the turrets, is just relying on that X-Ray. Taking a few hits here from Dragon, but this should polish Dragon off. BFrobber knows that the item behind Dragon is not the major, so we should just be seeing BFrobber head right on out. Now, it'll be interesting to see if BFrobber does any of the other Wrecked Ship checks. mean, I would assume the only ones that he would do would be right side supers and the little door at the top, but we'll see. PB running a little bit low on energy, but we know that she has 2 full reserve tanks, so that should be able to carry her through this last Metroid room. And expert spring balling to play keep away from the Metroids keeps her safe. Snidehopper's here. Probably going to take 1 hit, but easily tanked. BFrobber making his way out of wrecked ship as we see Polar Bear Bunny likely lining up for the baby skip. PB wisely facing to the right, saving some frames on the stand-up. Every little bit counts. Now with that wave beam slowly clearing those that moss out shot by shot. Meanwhile, BFrobber taking a refill at the ship and making his final descent down towards Tourian. So again, without Ice Beam, we're going to be seeing likely an ammo kill on these Zebs or speed Zeb skip. So we'll see what Polar Bear Bunny opts to do here. Definitely has the ammo with Charged Plasma, no problem killing the Zebs and Mother Brain 1. And then, you know, plenty of ammo for Mother Brain 2. But we'll see if Polar Bear Bunny goes for the swag. No speed Zeb skip this time, just going to hammer on through with ammo. Wisely using a couple of supers and then, or a couple of regular missiles and then the supers, save on that super ammo. With plenty of ammo left over to bring Mother Brain out of Phase 1, get her out of that glass tank, and into her horrible T-Rex body monstrosity of Mother Brain 2. BFrobber making his way through room number 1. Ping-ponging off the wall there in in Metroid Room 2. Meanwhile, Polar Bear Bunny giving Mother Brain all the charged plasma shots while dodging all of the food-themed attacks, the meatballs, the ketchups, the onion rings. Ooh, that one was a little close. PB damaging down to 3 E-tanks, the exact number of energy that Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam will take off. And cutscene time. BFrobber heading into babies. Got speed, got high jump. We'll see if he goes for the baby skip. Looking good so far. It's going to take a few more shots. Oop, got caught. Would have been tough without Wave Beam to eat through that moss. Gets caught. Is going to have to do the energy refill, but uh-oh. Watch out, baby Metroid. Mother Brain's alive! Cutscene ending. Samus superpowered with the death of the baby Metroid. Filling Mother Brain's face with rainbow shots, giving her a taste of her own medicine. And in just a moment, we will be through Mother Brain 3 and into the escape. Meanwhile, BFrobber taking an attempt at speed Zeb skip. So we saw one attempt, we're going to see another. This is a particularly tough short charge. The door is super laggy, hard to know when to hit down to activate it. We're going to see another one. And PvP into the escape. I believe BFrobber has enough ammo to clear the Zebs, but it might be a little tight. PvP opting not to do the moonfall down this corridor. I've seen it win races before. But in this circumstance, it might not make the difference. BFrobber successfully getting the speed Zeb skip. That is not an easy trick, and props to BFrobber for pulling it off. PBB, GG's in chat for PBB finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1:06:13. Blasting off into space in that wonderful, wonderful abomination of a ship. Swapping our audio on over to BFrobber as he gets into Mother Brain 2. Mother Brain blocking a couple of those shots with her hand, with a strong hand. And we are joined in chat by PBB, polarbearbunny. Congratulations, finishing first.
Thank you, Cranberry. Thank you.
How'd you feel about the seed?
Not great. The whole Crateria loop wasn't very beneficial. I didn't think. Croc and I are also not beneficial, so I felt like I wasted a lot of time.
You might make some enemies in chat. You got Spring Ball out of Croc. Come on now.
Listen. I picked it up, okay? Isn't that enough?
Oh yeah, so I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to BFrobber. Probably the biggest, one of the biggest advantages you had, you picked up Plasma and wrecked ship and saved afterward before checking Dragon, whereas BFrobber didn't. So he went back to landing site after finding Dragon and did not have Plasma through a big chunk of the game.
Yeah, that did actually turn out to be pretty big. I didn't really want to save there, obviously, because I took the ship save. But Plasma was good enough, I thought, and then it did end up helping me out a lot in Lower Norfair and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you had, I think you also had an ammo advantage going into Ridley. I think you had, plenty of supers and then Plasma, whereas BFrobber had to farm and then was a little short. So right up until, coming out of Lower Norfair, you guys were neck and neck. It was a great race to watch.
That's scary. Because Frobber is definitely better execution-wise than I am, so I was really not feeling good. Actually, quite a bit surprised with how the race was going that I ended up winning.
So you felt behind in the race?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
Did that make you? Is that why you thought about checking Croc instead of going straight to Lower Norfair?
kinda, yeah. I really wanted to just score gravity before LN. And it seemed quick enough with the charged plasma. Um, I didn't expect him to have any item, but you know. And then the spring ball, I was like, okay, well, if gravity's not in Lower Norfair, then I'm just doing full suitless Meridia. I don't care anymore.
But luckily, we did find gravity in Lower Norfair. Thank goodness.
Yes.
As much as chat would have loved to have seen suitless Meridia, that is not what you want to be doing as a runner.
Yeah, I'm sure chat would have loved to see me try suitless Crystal Flash Clip for 5 hours. That's the content we're here for.
It really is. You know, late night Super Metroid. What else is there to watch? The answer's nothing.
That's right.
And we are seeing BFrobber in the last room of the escape. Took a second, wanted to try and save those animals. Whoa, that's a cool shine spark. Whoa, looks like BFrobber's doing some X-ray climbing.
Yes.
And get your GGs in chat one more time for BFrobber, finishing up with an official GG race time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 24 seconds. Let's see if we can get BFrobber in here for an interview. So before BFrobber joins us, any other thoughts on the seed, just from your perspective?
Nah, not really. I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't the worst seed.
BFrobber, welcome. GG.
Hey, GG.
GG, Frobber.
So, go ahead.
That's my first completed seed of this week. All of my practice seeds I just gave up on because they were boring.
That sounds familiar to how I've been practicing. So how did you feel about the seed going through?
I think I probably should have not went up to Crateria through Green Brinstar and just went down. Probably would have saved a very large amount of time by doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many E-tanks you had, whether you could have made that run through Cathedral. But for sure, had you gone down, you know, we know where Varia was, and that potentially could have saved some time for sure. I don't know if you and PV had a chance to chat in the race time room, but I think the big divergence was when you went to wrecked ship to check Dragon. You picked up plasma along the way, but then didn't save afterwards. And polarbearbunny did, so she had plasma for pretty much the majority of the run, and that kind of saved her time on Ridley, saved her time elsewhere too.
Oh yeah. Spazer SBA didn't work so well for me.
What? I'm shocked. Yeah, that was another thing I felt bad about. I felt bad about not checking X-ray before going up Red Tower, because then I mayhaps could have done the Dragon fight and gotten out. But also maybe not, because I was low on energy and didn't have Varia suit, so, you know.
Yeah, BFrobber, we saw you attempt that grapple escape, and that was a good effort.
Yeah, I've heard it's possible, but I've never practiced it, which is probably a good thing to do.
It's so hard without high jump boots. It's so hard. I can barely get it with high jump boots, so I can't imagine how much harder it is without.
Yeah, it probably didn't help that I just stood there and took two turret shots before the fight even started.
Well, it can't be too easy, right? You can't make it too easy on yourself.
Yeah, gotta add some difficulty.
Keeping it tense for chat. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know. I there's no more. Well, there never was any free races. Every opponent is really hard, and I have a lot of respect for Frobber and think he's really cool. And I was very afraid because it did feel like the seed could have been done really quickly if you just went down to Norfair right away. But looks like we both kind of routed a little out of the way.
Yeah, I was telling polarbearbunny before you joined. The routing was actually very similar between you two, and there was a couple of divergences. I think you kind of went reverse meme route, and PvV I think went up Red Tower. But coming up after Lower Norfair, the Upper Norfair elevator to Red Brinstar, you guys were 30 seconds apart. So I mean, it was a close race almost all the way through.
Yeah, gotta show off every bit of the game.
That's right. That's right.
The whole map. All 1,244 map tiles.
I hear map completion is the best mode.
It is.
Okay.
Well, I really appreciated seeing you both race. It was a nail biter right up to the end. Any kind of last thoughts you guys have before we close it out for the evening?
No, GG's, Frobber. Good luck in the next round, and thank you, Count and Slow Guy, for helping out with tracking and comms. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to watch it back.
Yeah, GG. Thanks for the comms and restream and tracking.
Absolutely. And chat, head out there. Gotta respect our runners. Give them a follow. Their Twitch channels. Learn a lot. You saw the talent in the streams, so definitely give them a follow. And definitely thank you to our SpeedGaming staff and our tracker, Slow Guy. Much appreciated. And with that, I think we will call it an evening. Thanks, everyone, and see you next mission.